Talk on Salam Media with me, Maryam Mkwanda. It is 12:15, and joining me in studio is our hit list for today, Global Award-winning entrepreneur Dr. Shamila Ramjawan, former Mrs. Johannesburg 2019. She's an accomplished, renowned, formidable, and well-respected multiple global award-winning entrepreneur. She was appointed as a board member of the GIA and is currently the chairperson for South Africa. Shamila is the South African chairperson for Ladies of All Nations International, the largest women empowerment platform in the world with representation in 150 countries. She was recently appointed as the country director, South Africa, for the International Youth Society with a representation in over 140 countries and is the president of the IYS in South Africa. And she has lots of accolades and awards to her name, but we're not going to go through that because of time. Shamila, thank you for joining me and good day.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. It's wonderful to be here in the studio with you. And I'm looking forward to the chat.
Oh, yes, definitely. I mean, this is all about you. This is all about your life. And who better to tell your story than yourself? Congratulations on your achievements. Did you ever see yourself as an entrepreneur? And tell us about your history in entrepreneurship. Where did it start?
Not at all. I think, it's entrepreneurs are not born. That's for sure. But I started off, humble beginnings, didn't have money to go to university. And I just found that, I needed to study. I became a widow at a very young age. I lost my husband in 1998. And at that stage, I just had a marketing diploma. And having to bring up two beautiful kids, I just felt that I needed to study and grow myself. And that's exactly what I did. Now I actually have so many accolades and degrees and qualifications that I don't have enough fingers to count on. So I just believe that, education is a key weapon that you can use to change the world. And that's exactly what I'm doing in terms of growing myself and making an impact in other people's lives as well. So I worked in corporate for most of my life. Let me just take a step back. So I didn't have money to go to university. I locum taught at a school in Pietermaritzburg. I'm formerly from Pietermaritzburg. And I taught for about a year. And then I decided to study part-time. And I just grew myself. And then I lost my husband. And then I decided to study again. So I worked in corporate for most of my life, starting off as a receptionist, growing up right to executive PA, marketing executive, and head of marketing and communications at two very big organizations. So in 1998, I moved to Johannesburg. In 2002, I'm sorry. And I found that it was a whole new change because here it's just job hopping and just aiming for higher salaries and growing yourself as an individual. And that's exactly what I did. So I was erratic a bit, didn't stay in a job for more than 3 years. And I just grew myself and continued studying. And so I decided that in 2014, with having worked in communities and making an impact, I found that girls were not attending school because they didn't have proper sanitary solutions. And I decided to research the menstrual cup because I used a menstrual cup for about 10 years. And I found it's such a viable product and sustainable. And you save lots of money and you're also saving the environment. So I decided to just research and lo and behold, I came up with my own brand because to get a product at that stage in 2014 here into South Africa, it would have cost a fortune. And I thought, let me just start my own. So I named it after my daughter, Daksha, who is Princess D. A lot of people ask me, where did you get that name from? And so it is my daughter. And I decided to just take it into the market. And, it was quite a challenge sitting in a boardroom trying to pitch this to men because, at the end of the day, it's the men that go around to get sanitary products for their wives, partners, daughters, etc. And it was quite a challenge. But, I broke through all of that. And I would say we're one of the biggest in the world now in terms of the Princess D menstrual cup. So that was my journey of entrepreneurship. And that's how I grew myself as well in terms of personal branding. And I've now latched on to lots of organizations that I'm impacting the world.
Wow, that's great. Now, you started Famram Solutions. What was the inspiration behind it?
So Famram Solutions is if you look at the name, it's Family Ramjawan. Famram Solutions. So it's a
Oh, that's
marketing company.
great.
Thank you. Yes, I think a lot of people don't know that, but Bam Ram is Family Ramjawan. And the intention there was to get family involved, and that my family is my son and my daughter. But I do get my daughter involved. She's very much involved in the company. But my son, he's on his own. He's not an entrepreneur. He says he's not an entrepreneur, although he helps quite a bit in the business.
Yeah.
So I started off on a very small scale. And, again, I'm going to say humble beginnings because I had to sell my car to finance the company. I had to work from home in my study and just grow the business. And, as entrepreneurs, we don't earn a salary. We've got to work 10 times harder to get that paycheck at the end of the month, if we do get that paycheck. And I just decided to grow the brand and just market aggressively. And that's where we are today, in over 20 countries with Princess D Menstrual Cup.
That's great. One thing people always say that is that if you love what you do, you'll never have to work a day in your life. But actually, that is not true. If you love what you do, you're going to have to work 10 times more than anyone else, than that 8 to 5 job that you go to every day that you dread going to. Because if you love what you do, you're going to want to make sure that you succeed at what you do. So it's always more than never having to work a day in your life. It just feels like you don't have to work a day in your life because it is what you love doing. But obviously, you're going to have to work a lot more than your regular job. Now, you also work with Olympic gold medalist Caster Semenya. What's it like working with her?
So Casta and I, we've been in partnership for a while, but obviously that's died down a little bit. So we're very much in talks. I mean, Casta is my baby girl. She calls me mama. So yes, we still have a beautiful relationship. But Casta's focused. She's got her own foundation now, so she's driving her own personal branding and personal stuff. But she's an amazing person. I love her to bits, and we just love each other. So yeah, it's been a great partnership.
Oh, that's great. Now, what does period positivity mean to you? I mean, you obviously started this Princess D Menstrual Cup brand for a reason.
So period positivity means that giving a girl a life. For me, having a sustainable solution that's reusable for 10 years. I mean, you cannot get any other sanitary product that comes close to that. So when you give a girl a menstrual cup, and I'll actually show you what it is. So basically it comes in the satin bag like this. And then we have the package, the box. So when you give a girl this bag, it's changing her life for 10 years or more because it's made from medical grade silicone. It's environmentally friendly. It's cost effective. It's a once-off cost. Our cup is customized. It's gone through all the stringent testing processes, and you'll see the D on the stem as well. So there's no two like it. And if you open it, we've got the name embossed in it as well. So there's a lot of replicas on the market, but you have to be careful as to what you use because ours is proper medical grade silicone. And then you have the sterilizer cap. So I'm just going to open this as well. So when this is our niche offering because we have a one-stop solution. When you give a girl this pack, she got everything. There's no need for her to look for a sterilizer cup, for example. So at the end of her cycle, she's going to sterilize her menstrual cup in this.
Oh, wonderful.
So this is amazing. And the cup goes in there, boiling water, you close, leave for 15 minutes, and it's sterilized. What's also very nice is, sorry, I'm going through the product now, but I think it's so important to let people know how it works as well. So when they're done, you empty the water out and you can actually store your cup in here like this. Like that. And just carry it around your handbag. And I mean, I travel the world with this.
Nifty.
And nobody even knows what's in here. No metal detectors will pick this up because it's medical grade silicone. So to use the cup, it's very easy. There's various folds. That's the U fold. Then you have the push down fold like that, which is a very common fold with girls and women. And then you have the rose or the roll fold, which is a lot smaller for the younger girls. Now, remember, we have girls that are as young as 8 years old. The girls are starting so early these days. So girls as young as 8 years old are using the menstrual cup. And then you just fold, you insert up your vagina. It doesn't go right up, so it doesn't affect your hymen and your virginity. This sticks out, and then it opens up like that. So it forms a suction against your vaginal wall. Leak-free protection, all your menstrual fluid will flow directly into the cup, so there's no mess, no fuss. Ideal for schoolgirls because they don't have messy dresses, there's no embarrassment, the boys don't know when they're on their period. And then depending on your flow, you can leave it in for up to 12 hours at a time. So just monitor for the first 2 or 3 months and check your flow. And then it's very easy to remove, you just press the stem, the bottom here, it releases the suction. There's holes on either side, releases, and you gently pull out in a vertical direction, empty into toilet or wash basin, and that's it. Everything is gone. Rinse your menstrual cup, fold, reinsert. You can swim, you can gym, any sports.
Okay, click here, ne?
Whatever. So it's an amazing product.
Right, it definitely is an amazing product. What makes it different from tampons? Because I mean, you can also do
Really
activities
put it in.
with tampons, etc. But obviously, with tampons,
Okay, you click, ne?
they have some,
Whenever I'm short.
that arises. So what makes it different?
Okay, so generally tampons, I mean, I've used tampons before as well. It dries out. So it tends to dry out, or when it gets really full, it becomes really excessive, and then it starts coming out on its own. With the cup, it forms a suction, so it's not going to come out unless you press it and release the suction to release. The major differences is this has got no toxins, bleaches, dyes. It's a natural product. It's just got a color pigment which will not affect you at all. So it's a very healthy product as well. And obviously no TSS, no toxic shock syndrome, unlike tampons that will give you, and you could lose your legs or whatever the case is, because it's quite dangerous. So yes, it's a natural product.
So what are we looking at retail costs?
So currently our retail price is 300 Rand, and we have them in lots of pharmacies, lots of health and beauty stores. We sell online. We sell on TikTok as
you were
well.
supposed to click here.
So we get 300, but with CSI, obviously we want to make a difference and make an impact on the communities. So we have different prices.
Okay, let's
for
do
that.
it one more time.
So anything starting from 200 going up to 290. And I always say that corporates should come on board and invest in this, because you're making such a huge difference in a girl's life. And our main motto is keeping girls in school, because they are leaders of tomorrow. And that's exactly what we want to do. For example, we do a lot of work in Limpopo province, and there was a girl that ended up with 5 A's, and she's been using my cup for 3 years. So this is the success stories that we have, where we keep girls in school and they're performing so well academically.
And I feel like everybody is trying their best to climb on that ship as well.
I need to teach you how to do this thing.
Yeah, but it's unserious. I mean, you look back at it and see how unserious it is.
As well. And now there are a lot of people who are coming up with sustainable solutions. I mean, Princess D, as well as the reusable pads. But what do you think about the reusable pads before I add to it?
For me, I think if it's available, it's making a difference in a girl's life. If somebody can donate or sponsor, I have no objections in terms of what product a girl uses, because at the end of the day, it's a preference and it's a choice. We cannot give a girl a cup and force her to use it. It's entirely up to her whether she wants to use it. But, if a girl gets sanitary products, well and good. Yes, I would agree that it's changing their lives, because we look at girls in rural areas, and a lot of the girls have nothing to use. Feathers, leaves, pages from your textbooks, foam from mattresses, dirty rags. And, I always say this, that I'm working with doctors in Lesotho, and they see patients almost every other day because girls are using cow dung. They take cow dung, they wet it, they dry it up into the shape of a pad, and they use that to absorb the blood, or they make them into little balls and they stuff it up their vaginas, and they end up with infections. So anything that's going to help a girl child, yes, by all means, I would say go for it.
Right, excellent. Now, if you had an extra 10,000, let's just use 10,000 Rand. Where would you invest that into? Because you are into women empowerment as well, and there are so many young women out there who are trying to also get their foot in the door to become a successful entrepreneur like yourself. So where would you invest this extra 10,000 Rand?
So for me, this is my passion and this is my heart. I always want to help the girl child. So I'm busy with my DBA, my doctorate in business administration, and my study is on menstrual hygiene management with adolescents with cognitive disabilities. It's a study that hasn't been done in Africa. or even the rest of the world. It's very, very intensive what I'm doing. So it's going to be quite a breakthrough. And I've identified a school in Pretoria now because the school that I was working with in Johannesburg, they went through a really hard time with COVID-19 in terms of retrenchments and getting rid of some of the caregivers. So I've now sourced another school in Pretoria, and I've decided that this is where I'm going to be working. So what I would actually do is take that 10,000 Rand, get menstrual cups, and make a difference in the lives of these girls because they're differently abled. And I think it's so important for us to actually look after these girls as well. And the reason why I'm saying that is the product has been so successful with differently abled cerebral palsy girls. I have a girl that's been using my cup now for 4 years. She started when she was 9 years old. It was recommended by a doctor in Durban that contacted me and said, I can buy the cup, but I want you as the founder to sponsor the cup. And I did that. And now the doctor actually comes on board and sponsors 10 girls at a time because she really believes in the product. So it makes a huge impact, especially if you're in a wheelchair and you're uncomfortable with a pad on. Here you have a menstrual cup that you can leave on for up to 12 hours and not even worry about it. So it is making quite a huge impact in the lives of girls and women.
All right, that's amazing. And now, from all the awards and accolades that you have received, which one would you say is your biggest achievement?
I think if I have to look on merit, they're all very they're close to my heart because I've been recognized. I think, as entrepreneurs, we work so hard that we don't really look at what we're doing and the impact that we're making. And it's great that other people recognize us for the value that we're adding in communities and across the world in whatever sphere. But my honorary doctorate from the Global International Alliance in the USA stands out for me because that's the biggest accolade that I've achieved. And I'm also now a chairperson in the committee where I actually recruit and go through all the programs in Africa with the GIA, which is awesome. But over and above, I think every one of my accolades is just amazing. So I want to thank everybody that nominates me and the organizations that actually believe in me. Thank you for that.
We also want to thank you for coming on board and sharing your story with us. But before you go, what advice would you like to give to our viewers and our listeners, especially the young women and girls?
My advice is to reach for your dreams. I always say, carry on moving the goalpost because that's exactly what I do. My motto used to be dream big, but now it's dream bigger. I feel that the world is your oyster. Go out there. Believe in the power of now, because if you want to start something, you start now. Don't procrastinate and leave it for later on. And that's it. That's my words of wisdom for today.
Thank you. It's either going to be day one or one day. So you decide whether it's day one today or it's going to be one day in, I don't know when, whenever you decide. Shamila, thank you so much for joining us today and wish you well in your future endeavors.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. And to all the listeners as well, thank you for listening in. And if you'd like to be in touch with me, contact me on my social media platforms, Shamila Ramjawan. Thank you.
Right. Awesome. And Princess D menstrual cups are available nationwide?
Yes, it's actually global.
Oh, global
Yes.
as well as Take a Lot. So if you're sitting at home wondering, like, where am I going to get this product? Take a Lot is your plug, but you can also check out your local pharmacies as well. Thank you so much for your time once again and have a wonderful day.
Thank you and all the best too.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
That was Dr. Shamila Ramjawan talking about her life as a global award-winning entrepreneur and one of the 100 most successful women in business. And like we said, the menstrual cups are available globally as well as online. So if you are looking for the product, which looks like it's so cool, hey? It like comes in such a nifty goodie bag. Like, who wouldn't want that? But anyways, check it out. And if you have any further questions, you can leave them in the comment section, or you can send them to us on WhatsApp, the number 061 766 0355. Stay with us. We will be right back.
What makes Randery Jewelers the